So this video is just going to go over some of the requirements for formatting for your final term paper. So most of the rules for the final term paper formatting are exactly the same as the rules that were required of you for Post Foundation 1 because they follow basic APA rules. But I'll just review them here. So the first thing you need to make sure your final term paper is set at the correct margins. So you do that by going to Layout here and Margins, and it should be set at normal, which for me is 1 inch. For you it could be 2.54 centimeters depending on the settings for your computer. But regardless, it should say normal. So you'll notice here the blue box. So that means this is what it is set at. So make sure that your margins are set at normal. You also need to have your running head here. So you go here by going to Design, and you want to make sure it says Different First Page. And that's because the words running head need to be on the first page, but it's not on the subsequent pages here. So you need to write the words running head, and then you need a shortened version of your title. So this should be 2 or 3 words. It's a shortened version of your original title. So you're not going to put your whole title here, just a shortened version. And then you need your page numbers. So all of this needs to be Times New Roman, font size 12. Your whole paper should be Times New Roman. So if you go to Home here, Times New Roman, font size 12. The entire paper. Sometimes Word defaults to a different font type, especially when you start typing on a new page or you start typing in the running head. In that case, then you need to check it. For example, my program defaults to Calibri sometimes, so you need to, for some of you may have to actually highlight it and change it to Times New Roman. Cover page is same as Post Foundation 1 with the exception that you have to include your major here. So title of your paper, your major, your name, your ID number, Qatar University, English 203-, and then our section number, the date that the paper is due, which for us is now April 24th. It's been changed, and then my name. So Ms. Emily Vient. And you want to make sure this is double spaced, so you can check that by highlighting, and then go to paragraph, line spacing, should say double. And then both of these numbers should be set at 0. So this is going to be important, especially for the body of your paper, that both of these numbers are set at 0 and there's no number here. And then OK. Okay. So those are the requirements for the cover page. First page here. So again, the header, you don't have the words running head. So that's why you have to have different first page. So that the first page you have to actually write running head. And then the other pages you just have the shortened version of your title and then the page numbers. So you need the title of your paper again, the complete title here. This needs to be centered, and it needs to be written how you wrote it on the cover page. So capital letters except for prepositions in the word the. And you can center it by highlighting it and then going here to center. So if I go here, it brings it to the left side. If I go here, it brings it to the right side. So you want center in terms of the title here. And then you have your paper. The margins in terms of the beginning of your paragraph should be 1 centimeter. Sorry. See what it did here. So it all centered. So we want left like that. So if we insert, where's my ruler? View, ruler. Okay. So this here, you'll notice the margin indent is 1 centimeter. Okay. So that's the margin indent. It should be consistent for all your paragraphs. Again, the spacing should be double and set at 0. So this includes the space between paragraphs. So what I would do is type out your paper, and then when you're done, I would highlight everything just to make sure. And go to home here, paragraph, line spacing, double, and make sure all these numbers are at 0. Do not have them at auto, do not have them at 6 point. These numbers here need to be 0. And then nothing here. And okay. Okay. This is important because we decided as faculty this semester we will, if there's extra space between the paragraphs here, so for example, if you submit like this, this will be a formatting error. There shouldn't be extra space here between the paragraphs. And page numbers, and continue with the shortened title on each page. And then at the end, you need your word counts. So please make sure you put a word count. Should be accurate since you're submitting electronic files. Word will tell me how many words it has in it anyways, but you should put a word count here. And then you have your reference list. The formatting for the reference list, you won't be penalized in your formatting score in the rubric, you'll be penalized in the research band. But I already went over that in the grading for the final paper. Okay. So those are the basic rules for formatting for your final term paper. For each mistake, it counts as one error on the rubric. Okay. Also things like extra space after full stops here. So after a full stop, you should always have one space. So if you hit the space bar like that, that is the proper formatting after a full stop. Same with a comma. After a comma, there should always be one space afterwards, like that. So if you have multiple mistakes like that, we start counting after 2. Things like that. And then also capitalization mistakes in your titles. Those can also, you can be penalized for that. So let's say, for example, you had here capital O. That would be a capitalization mistake that you'd be penalized in for formatting. But basically, it's the same rules that you had for Post Foundation 1 in terms of basic APA formatting rules. Okay. Have a great day.